What was supposed to be the next big thing, but failed miserably?
Google Glass Google Plus 3D TV.
Google Glass, the Segway for your face.
For glass holes.
Google Plus, it was supposed to be the next Facebook. Guess not.
It might have been able to compete if they hadn't forced it on all their users. That alone made me instantly hate it.
The most annoying part to me was the YouTube integration. I don't want random people on YouTube knowing my full beep name, lol.
Segway.
I can't even remember what my life was like before the Segway.
Not entirely relevant, but I like the trend where everybody wanted the smallest cell phone possible. For 20 years, cell phones got smaller and smaller, often being the main selling point of the phone. Then all of a sudden you could watch videos on your phone, and almost overnight the trend reversed to larger is better.
Oh, wait, I can watch beep on this. I need a bigger screen.
IARC, there's an XKCD comic about this.
Firefest is going to be bigger than Lollapalooza. It'll be like a tropical Coachella.
It was like a homeless camp in Seattle after a hurricane.
Just as rapey.
It could have been amazing. But Randy had to go have some fun with Mickey Mouse and sleep with a pangolin in China. And then Space Jam 2 came. To think the guy had the audacity to blame Stan for what happened to Sharon and Kelly.
And he says he has tegrity, SMH.
The Zune. I miss mine.
Why didn't this work? Literally every time I hear about the Zune, it's people saying how much they loved it. What went wrong?
The iPod Touch and first iPhone came out shortly after. Completely changed the market.
Kibi.
Excellent read on the whole. Short-form professional content is an untapped market in the age of social media. Part bad read on the whole, and people will pay the same as their Netflix subscription to only be able to watch it on their phones. Part
everyone was supposed to be so busy with so many things online that people wouldn't have time for 2-hour movies or 30-minute TV episodes. Condensing movies to 30 minutes and episodes to 5 minutes was supposed to be the logical step.
Nintendo Virtual Boy.
The migraine inducer.
The XFL.
I actually wish it had worked. There was a team super close to my home.
I got a feeling the metaverse is gonna fail even if it's not out yet.
I feel like it's not a new idea, just rebranded.
I've been saying this since Second Life released.
Olean.
It was a great idea. Fatty foods with fat that you can't digest. Of course, when you eat something that you can't digest, it has to go somewhere. And that part was not pretty.
And it didn't even taste as good as regular fat. It left a waxy coating in your mouth, so that put me off eating enough of it to get the side effect.
HD DVD.
Before that, laser discs.
Before that, Betamax.
Heidenreich.
He had a good program with Undertaker at least.
Mini discs.
They were great for musicians, as a near CD quality medium that was faster than buggering about writing CDs. Also great in the car too. But of course MP3 wiped out the need for them.
The next Avatar movie. I means it's been like almost 12 years, when are we getting the second movie?
December 2022, I was only 6 when it came out and I honestly don't really remember the movie. I just remember seeing blue alien people, and it being hyped because of the whole 3D thing, and I also got a Happy Meal toy from it, but that's about it. LMAO. Can't believe that'll already be 13 years ago by the time the next one comes out.
I was 16 when it came out and remember as much as you do. Except I didn't get a Happy Meal toy.
Johnny Manziel.
Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell.
Theranos.
Theranos was definitely better in the comics.
Customizable cell phones. The back had metal induction ports where you could swap out parts, such as the battery, camera, processor, or storage bank. Unfortunately, the phones were prone to spontaneous combustion.
Failed because every engineer who knows anything about design knows it is impossible to do what they suggested and keep it small and cheap. Want a cell phone the size of a brick again, because that is what you'd end up with. You'd need tons of little micro connectors, and those are not cheap. Then you need more to hold and lock things in place. And then, it all depended on technology not changing. I mean, who would have thought DDR2 memory would change? Oh right. Everyone. What we have is nowhere near ready for something like this. Maybe when the components are 1/10th the size they are today. So give it 30 years or so, and then maybe you'll have a customizable phone of today's size. Maybe.
Segue. Holy beep, the rumors leading up to it being unveiled. Was supposed to be revolutionary, and then they showed it off.
I remember that. I could be wrong, but I vaguely recall Diane Sawyer covering it, and trying, but not succeeding in being diplomatic. Something like a really annoyed, that's it?
Yes, it was unveiled on Good Morning America. And the inventor Dean Kamen called it a revolutionary invention that would change human transportation forever and be in every home in a few years' time. Cut to 20 years later and production has stopped for good, selling less than 200,000 Segway human transports in total. The biggest technological hype in the history of ever was the biggest disaster ever.
Everything that was supposed to replace the computer mouse. Seaplanes would have been the dominant form of transportation because runways took lots of money for construction and upkeep. Then World War II broke out and hundreds of runways were built for the big bomber planes. Seaplanes fell out of favor due to their tendency to corrode in salt water and the extensive training required to fly one. Supersonic travel also died due to forces outside of its control, namely fuel prices and a deadly crash.
I almost feel bad about the flying boat. As an aviation enthusiast, I've always had an interest in flying boats, and it was huge in the 30s. But with the rise of jet power, you couldn't create a jet-powered flying boat, and they just phased from existence as long-range airliners like the 707 took over.
You couldn't create a jet-powered flying boat. You can. Bereaved did it, but it's no surprise that no one else does it.
PSP movies or any format outside Blu-ray that Sony tried. California high-speed rail.
Laughs in Hawaii's $12 billion rail. We still aren't even finished building it yet.
The DCU.
Could have been great if they'd put in the effort.
And time. They feel that they rushed their films in competition with Infinity War and Endgame.
The Kinect when it first came out for the 360.
It could have been great, but most of the games felt too basic and half-baked, and the tracking wasn't the best.
That Spider-Man musical by Julie Traynor.
I went to it as per of an advertising industry event, and the goblin got stuck above the crowd for 45 minutes. The actor up there was hilarious, he just went for it. After they got him down, they abridged the whole thing in like 10 minutes, and they ended it. It was an amazing failure.
3D TVs. Alestra, then people found out about the anal leakage.
Wait, what?
Amazon Fire Phone.
Aside from the Kindle, Amazon makes Beep devices. Bought my kids one of those Amazon Fire tablets, biggest piece of Beep.
My mom got my siblings and me Kindle Fires one year for Christmas when they were like $50 each, but my phone at the time had better specs and not some ultra-locked-down version of Android, so like, what was the point?
Hashtag Coney 2012.
Yo. That was a wild, what month? Of my life? I was in my first or second year at university, so I landed right in the crosshairs of their very persuasive campaign. I had an exam on the big day, which may also have been April 20th. Anyway, I was buried in books for a week for exam season due to some level of discipline I no longer have, and I remember being sure I'd pass by all these Coney 2012 posters on the way to campus, and I was shocked when I didn't see a single thing along my commute.
Wish I could upvote this more. I still say it from time to time. Either Coney 2012 or Harambe.
Toyota Scion cars.
Yes, Scion owner here. They had great sounds for stock, cheap, and a lot of customizations without anyone gouging the prices up, but the marketing for young teens who was either buying used cars or using their parents' money to buy something else, as well as the 2008 market crash, and the shift to everyone buying SUVs caused Toyota to axe the Scion brand. They have the same reliability of a Toyota, but a marketing to teens will cause a brand to fall fast due to age.